What are your thoughts on how free agency has played out for a lot of these guys? Obviously, still a few years until you have to worry about that process. By at least depending on where you look, you got more money than depending on where you look and market value. Again, it's all weird projections and nobody knows for sure, but a nice $4 million for you, a well-deserved raise.
Thank you.
But is that something you watch just kind of afar, especially right now, right, where you got Dansby commenting at CubsCon like, well, we can't start next season until we sign Belly, and, just how all of this has been dragged out, especially, again, with some of the Scott Boras clients more specifically, but the offseason as a whole has been very dragged out, maybe even more so than years past. Like, what is your kind of stance on just how free agency has played out in Major League Baseball?
Yeah. I mean, my stance is probably similar as far as Cubs fans, Cubs players, staff. Like, we all want Belly back. He was such an amazing clubhouse presence last year. I loved showing up to the ballpark and, chopping it up with Belly each day. He's just a great person, great teammate. And, I want things to work out for him. He's such a great dude. As far as the rest of free agency goes, I mean, something fans, people, coaches, whatever the case may be, who needs to realize it is so hard to get to free agency in this game. Like, so many people don't get there. And so for me, the way I look at it is the guys who do get there, treat it however you want, because that is your time. That is the first time in your professional career you actually have a choice. Mm-hmm. So for me, take it as long as you want, as short as you want, do it however you want to do it. Like, if you want to Zoom call every team that's interested, do that. Like, that it is finally it's your choice. So so to me, I don't really say one way or the other. Like, do it exactly how you want to do your free agency process. That's kind of how I look at it. I know it's frustrating for the fans. Like, the fans want to see these guys land, in certain areas and stuff. But to me, I look at it from a player, obviously, and that's kind of how I look at it. Is like, I want them to have the best result they can possibly have and, like, be happy in the end.
I was going to say, because that's something even I've had a lot of conversations with. For example, like with my dad and I constantly shoot the shit on baseball on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. And he will bring that up, right? He's like, well, like, for some of these players, like, when is enough in terms of money and these contract negotiations and stuff like that. And I'm like, and I tend to say the same thing. I'm like, Dad, you got to realize, like, if you got the opportunity to go get the bag, go get the bag. Like, do it however you got to get it, but go get it. Like, if you have one opportunity in your lifetime to get that big contract, take it. You should take it. Like, you're set, especially in baseball, because baseball contracts are guaranteed. Like, that's the one sport where if you can go out and get that money, do it. I mean, I know you're a big fan of the NFL. You constantly see it every year in March. Oh, this guy just signed for $80 million. That's great, but maybe only 40 of it's guaranteed. Like, there's a lot of what ifs that play into some of that stuff. Where, again, with baseball being fully guaranteed, like, letting these guys go out and get the money. And then, especially, I think now too, right, you're seeing such the unique contracts. And especially, I think the Cubs can claim that they've done 2 of those this year. Obviously, Shota's deal is very kind of, hey, we can do this way, we can do this way, this can go 3 different ways. And even Neris's now just recently signed with the extra year option and going from team option to player option. Yeah,
I'm still on. Sorry.
All good. Hi, Libby. We're sorry we're stealing your husband from you. But no, I love that answer, Justin. Really do. I think it brings a lot of good perspective to just what I think a lot of fans are legitimately asking. Just like, hey, why hasn't this guy signed yet, or who hasn't signed where? And especially in relation to Belly, obviously, I think every Cubs fan in the world is dying for number 24 to be back in center field on opening day. So we certainly agree with you there. But Justin, we got into the fun question. So I'm going to dip into the comment section here because there were quite a few good ones that have been discussed. A couple of them coming from our big friend here, Mr. Dubs. He says, has Craig Counsell reached out to you and let you know kind of what he wants to see from you this season, or what kind of, your role on the team is going to be, your expectations, things like that?
He has reached out to me. We've talked a handful of times. Nothing in the sense of like what he's expecting me to do or anything. I think we kind of just have an understanding. Like, he wants me to go out and pitch very well every time I take the ball, and That's kind of that's kind of all there is to it. But yeah, we've had some great conversations so far. I really like the direction things are headed in.
That's what's up. My dad with one here. He says, "When is the extension talk occurring with the Cubs?" Obviously, you got still a few years of arbitration left before they might talk. But again, I mean, we've seen it around baseball. Guys have signed earlier and bought out some of those arbitration years. Colt Keith, just most recently with the Tigers, a similar type contract. Have you heard of any extension talks, or is that something that have to keep ho hum?
Yeah, I mean, as far as most I'll say on that is there hasn't been any talks or any discussions had so far.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Dubs had another one for you. He says, "What was it like to pitch in London during the UK series?"
That was a great experience. That was something that was really cool. That was a moment in my career that I'll always remember, especially since I had a good outing over there and stuff. It was just really cool to, for me to being the first time like over in Europe, that side of the world and stuff, doing that kind of stuff. It was a lot of fun, and it was really fun to pitch in that environment as well.
Absolutely. Another one here from a good friend of the show here, Mr. Jeremiah. He says, "How many king cakes have you had so far?"
I'll always have one a year. If I'm out here in Arizona, I get somebody to ship me one. I'm a big fan of king cakes. Cream cheese with strawberry filling is the way to go. Nice.
We got a couple too here. Admittedly, Mr. Scott from Iowa sent them earlier before anybody. One of them we're actually going to get to, so I'm not going to ask that one. But what is your favorite Toby Keith song in honor of the legend passing away?
Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue.
Oh, yeah.
It's that one's above the rest by a pretty far margin for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. Absolute legend. Somebody I listened to a lot growing up, especially like where I grew up in the woods. He was somebody that was always playing in the truck, especially like when my dad or my buddy's dad was driving. It's always someone that would always, ring true, true American, just all of it, man. He was the best.
Yeah, he an awful way to go too. Stomach cancer is certainly is just gross. Jeremiah asks, "What are your thoughts on the Saints' new OC?"
I don't have enough information nor knowledge of the situation to be making any type of claim because it could be unwarranted. So I would want I'll revisit that. I need to gather a little more information on before I start making claims.
That's fair. We got a follow-up question for Justin next time.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. This one's a fun one. What should the Bears do with the number 1 pick?
I am so firm on this. You have got to keep Justin Fields.
Okay.
You've got to keep him. In my opinion, I mean, I'm keeping him. You know what you got there. You know what you have. And I think if you use the capital and the position you're in the right way, you can put some really good pieces around him that make him a lot better. In my opinion, you use that first pick and you go get, I don't know, Marvin Harrison or Bowers to pair with him. And then from there, you get offensive linemen to protect him. Your defense is always going to be your defense. Chicago's always got a good defense. It doesn't, that's just like a thing. I don't know what it is, but Chicago Bears always have a good defense. But
we don't know.
In my opinion, you keep Fields and you put pieces around him. You get him a good offensive line and you put pieces around him. That's my take.
Have you ever ran into him at all?
No, I haven't. No. I haven't.
That would be an electric collaboration. The pair of Justins running into each other into the city of Chicago. One more here from the comment section. Darren wants to know before you become his definitive number 1 favorite. Best day off: hunting, fishing, or golf? Do you hunt?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up hunting. I don't do a whole lot of it anymore. If I do something now, it's kind of just to put meat in the freezer. Like I love deer meat, so if I do kill something, it's usually to put meat in the freezer. I grew up hunting though, and I loved it. That's tough. And for me in this day and age, I would say fishing or golf. I'm probably going to lean towards fishing if it's the kind of fishing I want to do, like deep sea tuna fishing all day. and I can go with my buddies. I would say that.
I like it. I was going to say the fishing story from the charter sounded electric.
The guys loved it. The guys loved it.
Would have killed to be a fly on the wall, or in this case on the boat of that trip. That was probably a hell of a trip. All right, so we're gonna get back into our scripted fun questions, and again, a big shout out to everybody in the comment section for dropping questions and joining the conversation here as well. We appreciate everybody that's tuning in. The first one: what was your most fun road trip of the season, or favorite road trip of the season?
My favorite road trip has been the past 3 years is when we go to Miami, and it's just only because it's kind of like a little mini vacation in the middle of the season. Like, we get to stay at the beach. My family usually comes with me, so it's like Bo and Libby are there. We're usually hanging. If we have an off day, we're like hanging on the beach and stuff, and that's always a trip. That's a trip every year I look forward to, is going to Miami and staying on the beach because I love the water.
Their stadium's kind of underrated too. Like, I know, like, the outside of it looks like a George Foreman grill, but like when you go inside, like I went to because we went on a cruise last year and we went to the Miami game, and I don't remember which one it was, but that's the first time. And yeah, it's not as bad as people, as far as inside's not as bad as people say it is.
I enjoy going there. I like playing there.
Heck yeah, juice.
Fair enough. All right, Justin, this is the only question I'll accept no comment to. All right, it's two-parter. Who's the ruthless fan base on the road? And what's the place that you just hate going to, and why is it the St. Louis Cardinals?
What was the second question?
What's the one place that you go to on the road that you just hate going to, and why is it St. Louis?
It's not St. Louis. It's not St. Louis. It's probably Cincinnati because the ball flies there. That's probably my least favorite place to go, and that's probably every pitcher on our team is because the ball flies there.
Okay.
What was the first part of the question again?
Most ruthless fan base on the road.
The Phillies.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. They do a good job of it.
You got a good story for us there, or no?
They just, when I pitched there, I think I pitched there twice. I mean, they just let me have it in my pregame bullpen. I'm okay with it. Like, I usually end up laughing at it.
I was gonna say a lot of them got to be.
They
really
do a good
funny.
job. They do a good job. If somebody has thin skin, they'll get under it.
I was gonna say that a lot of them you're probably sitting there chuckling while you're throwing, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Did the new rules affect your game at all last year? And is there a rule that maybe you would like to add this year if you could?
No, I wouldn't say it affected me too much. I think I only had 3 to 5 violations over the course of the whole year, and none of them really made too big of a difference. I like that it sped the games up a little bit. It doesn't affect my game at all. I know it does affect some people, so I can't speak for them. But if anything, I would say it maybe helped me a little bit. Like, I get into a rhythm a little bit quicker, a little bit sooner. Can kind of use the clock in my advantage because like they got to get in at 8 seconds, and I can like kind of still be walking around and stuff. You can kind of make the situation a little uncomfortable for the hitter. So I mean, it doesn't bother me. I enjoy it. I like it.
Awesome.
Hell yeah, juice.
If you weren't playing baseball, what would you be doing?
I'd probably be playing video games in some capacity. Hopefully professionally. I'm really good at video games, and I've had a little bit of, I wouldn't say professional experience, but I went to Major League Gaming Dallas. I competed there for a little bit. Like, I was really good at Call of Duty as a kid growing up and stuff. I took it pretty serious.
So like when you were little, was your parents like the type that like, get off the games, Justin? Like, was it like that?
Yeah. I played a lot of video games.
But now, like, you see those kids now, they're going to like college and buying $1 million houses and stuff like that, all because of video games. It's crazy how that stuff like comes full circle or whatever.
Yeah, it blew up.
Yeah,
It really did. Really did.
So Justin, being in Southern Kentucky, SEC, all I hear about, all SEC Nation, all that kind of stuff. Your thoughts on Nick Saban retiring and roll Tide? Like, will there be a Tide this year? Like, is there even a Tide anymore? Like, what? Saban's gone. What do you got to say about that?
Well, before Nick Saban got to Alabama, we still led the country in national championships.
I know.
So I'll leave that there. But it is very bittersweet to see him go. It's one of the things you love that it happened. You hate to see it end, but you just appreciate the history and the greatness he was able to bring. You just respect it. It's somebody that, if you're a coach, you're watching videos of Nick Saban at some point.
Yeah.
Like he wrote the book. He's in the book. He's one of the greatest. He's, if not the greatest.
Like
we were very spoiled in the time that we were here, but in the passing of the guard, I really like who we brought in. It seems like Nick is sticking around a little bit, helping him out, showing him the ropes, which is really cool to see. And playoffs are expanding, and I think Alabama will still be in that playoff discussion. I'm not going to say year in and year out, but they'll be a top 25 team year in and year out. And they'll have a chance every year. So I'm not in that capacity. I'm not too overly worried about it.
Yeah, there's got to be surely they will do like a Last Dance type documentary on. There's got to be something like that with Nick Saban, right? I mean, they has to be. It'd be awesome.
Somebody at some point, someone had to have that idea that we need to be documenting what's going on.
Yeah. It would really be cool to see just some coverage of him in the locker room, whatever. That'd be nuts. Be cool.
All right, Justin. Spotify Roundup. How's it look like? Favorite artist? I know you're I think you were one of the guys on Twitter that I followed, and I was like, oh man, he's listening to the Morgan Wallen album when it came out.
Yeah, I like Morgan Wallen. I listen to country a good bit when I do listen to music. I really don't listen to music a whole lot. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I like to gather information on whether it's football, fantasy football. I listen to baseball podcasts. I'm always listening to some podcasts, trying to learn something. But when I do listen to music, it's country, Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs, Ernest, Hardy, and then if anything other than that, it's like Rufus DeSalle, just some different things.
Are you sticking to the same walkout song this year?
Yep, I'm gonna stick to my guns there.
Awesome.
I feel like everybody likes it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's good. It fits well too. It fits well with you.
I'm country too, Justin. We're going to the Zach Bryan concert, I think.
Oh, nice, sick. Good for you.
United Center in a couple weeks.
That's awesome. Good for you.
So it's no secret. You just talked about it. You're a big video game guy. I'm a big video game guy. I bought a PlayStation just for MLB The Show. I think the first one I had was 2009.
Did the same thing.
And so basically what I want to know is, what are your thoughts on first of all, I'm not going to stand for this. What are your thoughts on the disrespect that San Diego Studios has shown towards you with your final live update was a 79 silver. Your in-game player picture wasn't right. They didn't have the hair, nothing. I'm not, if it means this year that I have to just campaign, if I have to write letters every day to San Diego, if I have to email them, call them, go to their doorstep just to get this right.
Yeah, we did send Tyler to the winter meetings. I don't know if
you got your diamond card, you got your all-star card, you got the finest card, but that live card, I'm not you, Justin. I took it as a slap in the face. I did. So, I mean, is there anything you want to tell San Diego? I will try to get that message out there, even if I have to travel across the country to do it. Because I mean, it's not right. It's not right.
I'm just, I understand. I hear you, and I understand, and I'm with you. It's just when I play MLB The Show and I use myself, I have my 99 card.
Yeah,
and it's unhittable. It's a joke how good he is.
So, have you already?
So it's kind of like I can't be that mad about it. Yeah, it's I can't be that mad at it because I don't have to use it because I have this sick one that San Diego Studios gave me.
Oh,
so it's
yeah. I got you. Yeah, that one, the one that only you have.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, I know.
So it's I can't be beating down the door upgrade my car. It's
so basically, I'm just gonna have to take it do it myself then, I guess. Okay.
I guess.
you.
I mean,
I'll do
I'm
it.
sorry, but I have my 99 cards.
I got you.
Really good.